Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Chris. Thank you for being here. You might recognize this. It's a piece of a 2x4. Now, there have been a lot of challenges involving these over the past. And, well, my friends at Rockler are helping me. They're sponsoring a new one. It is called the Rockler Timed 2x4 Challenge. Something I've had in my head for a while. It's finally coming to fruition. I've got quite a few makers involved as judges. More on that later. Let's begin. Also, before we get into this, since Rockler was so generous enough to sponsor this challenge, I gotta make a big announcement. Finally, we have one in Northeast Florida. I can't believe it. I'm gonna leave the address in the description below. Guys, go check it out. If you're up here in Duval County, St. John's, Northeast, you get it. We finally got one. Go check them out. A couple of rules and guidelines for this challenge. It's called the Rockler Timed 2x4 Challenge. All submissions are gonna be done through Instagram. And of course, I'm gonna ask that you follow me over there, along with the 5 other judges that are involved. And the hashtag is right here. Check it out, Rockler Timed 2x4 Challenge. You get it. That's how we're gonna be able to see it. Here are the rules. You basically have 30 minutes to make something out of one 2x4. You have 2 hours to make something out of the second one. And you have an all-day build or a one-day build to make something out of the third. That's the idea. Where I got this idea from, well, it hasn't really been done in the woodworking community just yet. But in the food industry and in the artist world, they do this quite a bit. You might see some channels do, can I draw a superhero in 10 seconds, 1 minute, and 30 minutes, or whatever it might be, and the results are very different. One of my favorite timed challenges is actually done by Hansi and Martina over at Nerdforge, where she made dioramas in like 1 hour, 10 hours, and 100 hours. I'm actually gonna link that video down below. It's fantastic. That's kind of the genesis of where I got this idea from. So, all that being said, I do wanna say a couple of things. Use whatever tools you have. There is no real way to do this that is the correct way. It's your way. All I ask is that on the honor system that you follow the guidelines for the time. We're gonna know if you made something pretty elaborate in 30 minutes, it just doesn't work that way. So be honest and submit your answers on Instagram. And here are the 5 judges. For judge number 1, well, you're looking at him. That's me. In no particular order, I've enlisted 5 other people to help me with this. All right, I've got Jared from the Evening Woodworker. He is, well, the reason I picked him, I met him at Workbench Con a couple years ago, and the guy is a fantastic woodworker. He's a father of 5. He has made a treehouse in his basement. It's pretty incredible, and I really trust him with what he's going to be able to do with this challenge. The second one is Shar from the Wooden Maven. She's on Instagram. She is a shop teacher up in the Atlanta area. She and I were very fortunate enough to speak at Workbench Con together on a parent panel and how we just do what we do as active parents and woodworkers and content creators, so it was a no-brainer to get her involved as well. The next one is Bree from Upcycled by Bree. I recently met Bree in a conference here in Jacksonville, and her take is taking kind of trash to treasure, and I wanted someone who had a lot of expertise in that, and I'm really happy she decided to go ahead and join us and put her flair on this contest. Second guy, the 5th or 4th, whatever number this is Derek from Malden. He's been really helpful for me when I was learning CNC software, and his ability to kind of think outside the box, especially with his sign making ability. And there's been a really great friendship between he and I. It was a no-brainer to get him involved as well. And of course, the godfather of all making, Jimmy Diresta. I got the pleasure to meet him back in 2017 at the Sky Took Woodworkers event put on by Nick Ferry. And I got to meet him there, and we've kept in contact ever since. And he's kind of become from fan to friend. And I really appreciate his mentorship and the fact that he's kind of always available. And if I need to call him for something, he's there. And I really just would be remiss if I didn't ask him. And he has agreed to submit a video for this and to be a judge as well. So those are the judges. Hope you like it. I know they're great creators. What I'm going to ask you to do is their links are down below to the videos. If they've made them down below, go ahead and subscribe to their channels as well. And check out what they're doing for inspiration for the community in terms of this challenge, because what you're going to see me build are ideas that I've had for this challenge. I hope you draw some inspiration from it. And without further ado, let's go. Okay, so let's talk about what's at stake and some other rules about what and how to build, right? So build anything, really. All you got to do is use a 2x4 for each of these timestamps. The deal is that you may have only hand tools, and that's fine. You may have a whole assortment of industrial machinery. I kind of got a little bit of in between. So if you think that I'm not going to be using something like this, maybe for the later challenge, you're crazy. I am, okay? So that's the idea. Use what is in your repertoire of what you have in your shop. Honestly, each of the timestamps is going to be judged. And basically the winner of each timestamp is going to get a $100 gift card from Rockler. And then there's going to be, well, kind of a whole thought about who did it the best on all three combined. And that lucky winner will get a, ready for this, a huge swag pack from all of us. I know myself, I'm giving a $200 gift card to my website and everything that I offer. Jimmy is going to offer a couple of blades, knives, ice pick, that kind of stuff. And then there'll be more details about who's going to give what. I know Derek's going to give some swag, maybe some tumblers. More of that's coming, but it's going to be a big swag pack from all of us. And I do want to say this too. Honestly, if you take a 2x4 like this and maybe carve a canoe out of it in 2 hours and it looks amazing, I mean, that's definitely something that we're looking for, you know? Not only can you use big industrial machines, but sometimes it's in the little nuances of doing something like that. Just a suggestion. I'm not doing it. I'm not a hand carver. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Those are the rules. Those are the prizes. Let's get built. So, as I get started for this first 2x4 challenge, I got 30 minutes. Make sure to get your tools set up, everything you need in its place, and then go ahead and go. Now, listen, this is going to be an honor system thing, and I'm not going to talk too much over this video, but I will tell you this first one is going to be a project for the kids. So please sit back, relax, enjoy this, as this was a really fun thing to do. As you can see, I have a sander already set up, and with a little bit of an example here, I'm going to show you in real time how I sand one of these blocks. Most of the time we speed these clips up, but to give you an idea of just how short this actually takes me, I maybe spent about 10 or 12 seconds on this block, and you can do the math. That way there's some legitimacy in the fact that I was able to get this done within that 30-minute time frame. So if you guessed a set of building blocks for the kids, you would be right. Here they are. Here's kind of a structure or a hinge or something that I made just to kind of give you an example. And off camera, I went ahead and built something for them to go in, not part of the challenge. You can store these in a bag or a bucket or something like that, but I just could not help myself. And again, I just set up a little box joint pattern on the laser and cut a box for them. Now on the second channel, my kids are going to decorate these and the box. That's in the future, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, here we go. 2-hour challenge is commencing. I'm going to tell you this real quick. I do not want anyone to go too fast on this. I do not want any liability issues, if you will. So please work safely when you're doing this. And again, get your tools set up with what you think you're going to be making. That way you can minimize the amount of setup time that you do. Again, like I said, not going to say too much, just kind of let you guys sit back and relax and watch this, but here's some bandsaw work, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So with those small dados cut in all 4 pieces, I'm going to show you guys this pretty cool jig from Rockler. It's called a thin strip jig. And basically, instead of cutting a thin strip between the blade and the fence, which can be a little dangerous, this ball bearing is a certain distance between it and the blade, and then you move the fence over a little bit to the left every single time, and you get repeatable thin pieces that then fall off the left of the blade, keeping things safe and secure, and this process goes pretty quickly. Again, this might be the only video I've ever done real-time sanding in, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how fast or slow this is taking. If you ever wanted to put your sander upside down, I know a guy that makes that mount you see there. It might be on the website down below. Just saying. I got a little small spacer block, kind of helping me keep these really nice and even. And again, you can just do this by eye, it's not that big a deal, but spacer block definitely helps. And you're going to see later I cut those to length. I made the edges that have those small dados in them, I made them a little bit longer than they should have been, just in case I needed to trim them off, and I do. And you'll see that here in just a second. So a little mixture of glue, CA glue, all I need to make these panels. Almost looks like a fence of some sort. There we go. After we trim them up, it's time to fill some more glue into those little grooves. And lather, rinse, repeat. Same process until we get ourselves a box. And of course, by the way, I will be using the glue and CA glue method in terms of the activator, really holding that CA glue as a clamp until the glue dries, because this is a timed challenge and this is a really good way to make sure you can keep moving on and keep being productive with your project. So with all 4 of those small strips installed, every other direction to give it kind of that basket weave effect, they're trimmed to length, and now we've got to make a few pieces to make the bottom of this. So again, I'm going to go back to the bandsaw and I'm going to resaw down some, I don't know, a little under 1/4 inch size pieces, and then we're going to join them together and keep moving forward. So you guys may have seen this technique a whole bunch on this platform, but I'm doing it here. You take some blue tape and you join these panels together so where you can then insert some glue. Of course, I'm using that glue and CA glue method to keep things moving along. And then you just bend them up, let the blue tape hold them in place. You can see this process goes pretty quickly. Wipe off your excess and you can get to sanding immediately. So in order to make the top of the edges not look so, I guess the word is ugly, we're gonna just, you know, put a little piece of 2x4 there, a little strip, and kind of clamp it in place with the CA glue, like I said earlier, while that wood glue dries. Now the corners don't look that great either, so this is where the upside down sander mount really comes in handy. These small parts, you can see here, spend a little time on each corner, and it gives that effect of kind of a little chamfer on the edges. I think that's pretty cool. And these are basically just going to be mounted on the tops of the corners after a little hand sanding to kind of complete the look and finish this 2-hour time stamp. I made this just in time. No lie. This was like an hour and 58 minutes. So what exactly is this? Is this the world's weakest milk crate? No, not really. I am going to use it for, well, I'll show you. I thought maybe I was going to put a plant in there, and you can do that. It could be a planter, so you can put a plant in there if you wanted to, but I'm going to use it in my office as a paper-only wastebasket. All right, now moving on to the one-day build, I'm going to explain why I'm cutting this piece with my circular saw. It's because I don't have enough room left and right to cut a full 8-foot 2x4 on the crosscut sled, so that's why I did it. This is going to be a good one, and this is one of those projects that I told you in the beginning, if you've got the stuff in your shop to use, this is the time to use it. So yes, I am using the bandsaw, and I will be go ahead and, I guess, planing these or drum sanding these things down to a specific thickness because I need repeatability. I always love using this tool. It really does a great job of getting pieces identical thickness to each other. Really nice. You can see here I'm going for a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to design some box joints and some containers and cut everything out here on the laser. So here we go. You might be thinking, well, this is pretty quick. Well, it took longer than 2 hours because I did this from scratch all in one day, even going to the software to design this, making sure everything lines up and making sure all the pieces are going to fit together just right. So sometimes when you design things digitally, it takes a little more time than you might think. So that's why I saved this project for the one-day build. By the way, information on all the tools I'm using in this video are in the description below at the very bottom. So if you want to check all that stuff out, by all means. So you can see to assemble these, I'm just using CA glue and activator, no regular wood glue for this. These aren't going to get a ton of stress. This is going to be fine. There's another method to do this too. It's a little bit easier. If you want to go ahead and assemble it without any glue, tape it together, and then you can put CA glue into the crevices, into the 90-degree corners, and that glue kind of seeps into all those nooks and crannies. Spray it with the activator, and I'd say that's pretty strong. Yeah. Those little drawers need somewhere to go, and this is now the frame that everything's going to go into. Hope it works. It's all I got. I've done to my last, nitty gritty. Woo! So those little 1/8 inch pieces we resawed earlier are going to come into play now. I'm going to joint the edges with the table saw, and we're going to do that technique again of just laying them out and making a panel. Again, with that whole blue tape, you get it. So this is going to be the back of that, essentially that little cabinet I made. And I'm just going to use CA glue only. No need for wood glue. I don't think this is going to really have a lot of stress on it, so I'm here to do it quickly because, you know, we only got a day. There you go. Take the tape off, immediately sand it, and trim it up on the table saw. And I've spent a long part of my life trying to perfect putting glue down on a skinny surface, and if you put one finger next to the nozzle, you can do this, and I think it looks pretty neat, pretty satisfying. So PVA glue on the back, and then every so often some CA glue. Spray the activator on the back, and then just press it in place. That thing's not going anywhere. I do need to explain why there's tape on this. I wanted to protect the dark surfaces that the laser created from being sanded off. I like the look, and that's what I wanted to keep. Now, I'm going to show you this 2x4 here articulated in all these little pieces with all the boxes cut out, and I have this much left. That's it. And you know what? We need some drawer pulls, and to pay homage to the Glimpse Inside logo, the Mustache Man, we're going to go ahead and test this out and see how it works. Will I be able to actually grab this and have it be a functional drawer pull? Well, that's why I'm only cutting one so far. I mean, that's a dapper piece of wood right there. And you know what? Little glue and CA glue, of course, seems to be a theme with this quick project. Push it down, activate it. And I'd be an uncle of a monkey, and it works. So I said, why not cut out some extra ones? Let's do it. Absolutely love this laser. It's so cool. With the last one being installed, and since this is a one-day build, I didn't have time to finish the other ones because I wanted to stay true to the challenge, but I can finish these. And so what I'm going to do is nothing too heavy here. I'm using Total Boat's Wood Honey. This is a really nice, you know, pretty neutral finish. Mixture of oil, wax, inside of a bear. Works well. Just rub it on, let it soak in, rub it off, easy peasy. So, and the other thing I want to tell you guys about this is that it's food safe. So if you ever want to like pour a bowl of cereal in one of these drawers, you could probably do that. Now it's time to put the bear back home with his Total Boat buddies. And I told you I was a fan of this guy. The sticker's been there quite a while. Now, this can stand alone. You can put little feet on it. You can do whatever you want, but I want to hang it onto a wall. And since I make usually every French cleat I've ever made with plywood, I'm going to attempt to make some small ones out of these remnant 2x4s. Now, instead of cutting these on a dangerous table saw, these pieces are so small, I'm going to take an existing cleat piece that I have and do the CA glue blue tape trick, put them on there on that 45 degree, and then introduce them to the belt sander, slowly taking away material until I've got these little baby cleats. Aren't they just adorable? Check them out. Actually, this technique worked really well. So this is me sanding off some of that wood honey. You know, the glue is not going to stick to that, so makes quick work. Just sand it off. Totally forgot I was going to put these on there. If I'd remembered, I would have put some blue tape to cover it up so it didn't get the oil on it, but you live and learn. Alright, so here we are in my office, and this is where it's going to be. I had to put a little piece of plywood there as a little bit of a support backer, and that's fine. No big deal. It really doesn't really need it, but just in case. And now I have, look at this, 10 individual drawers made from one 2x4 in its own cabinet. You might be asking, what do I keep in here? Well, I keep my stash in here, and that's all you need to know. It's my business what goes in there. All right? Anyway, love how it turned out. I really want to know what you guys think. I want to know what your ideas are to participate in this challenge. Really want to see you guys, your creativity pop. Hopefully this has given you some inspiration to, get out there, go pick yourself up 3 2x4s and have a great time with this. It's been an honor to have the judges involved, and I really appreciate you guys watching. And a huge thank you to Rockler Woodworking and Hardware for sponsoring this challenge. I really do appreciate it oh so very much. So there are my examples of what to do for 30 minutes, 2 hours, and 1 day. Really, these things came out better than I could have imagined, and I hope you draw some inspiration from them. Of course, I'm not entered in the contest because I'm putting it on, but I really hope you guys can get down there on Instagram and tag it. Remember, Rockler timed 2x4 challenge. That's how we're going to see your submissions. I hope this community gets involved, and there's a lot at stake here, a lot to win, and I just think it's a pretty cool idea. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to do something, and I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. Thanks to the other judges involved. I want to thank them. Again, all their channels are linked down below. Go down there, subscribe to them, tell them I said hi, and happy building. Hope you guys come up with something really cool. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on Instagram. See ya.